Welcome back, everybody.
Hello. Let's talk about Rising Thunder.
That's right. The first thing I actually really want to talk about is they actually just came out with some news recently, and they talked about how their matchmaking works.
Yeah.
And so how the levels that we're actually getting, like the diamond rank, the legend rank, and stuff like that, is more quantity based. But there's actually a secret skill stat in the back that they rate based on for your record and stuff, and that's how they're actually matchmaking you. I think that's cool.
Dude, yeah, it is cool. I'm happy that they're putting so much time into trying to match people up as well. I think that's awesome.
Because, I mean, honestly, when I play Street Fighter, like, I've said this many times, that realistically, when you go play Street Fighter 4, you could lose, like, the first 100, 200 matches you play on there. I just don't feel like the matchmaking service is working properly, because they base it off of BP, and if you just play a lot, you're going to keep gaining little bits of BP, right? So someone with a high BP could be really terrible, but then someone with a low BP could be amazing. And so the fact that they're trying to have a difference between time and skill. They said that they're originally basing the matchmaking on only the skill, which is why you getting in the legend tier, you played like someone in like carbon tier or something like that.
That was after they did the update to it.
Right. Well, wasn't that before they changed it to using both?
It was like that day. It was like that day the patch came out. Yeah.
But now they're going to try to keep it so it's within the same tier and the same skills, and so...
I still get carbon now and then, opponents, and I think what that's about is that they gave an option. If you sign up now, newly, it gives you an option to sort of categorize yourself into your...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I saw that.
Your sort of player skill. And there's, new, there's mid, advanced, whatever, and then there's like whatever the top one is called. And I wonder if what's happening when I'm getting matched up against Carbon, I'm in Legendary now, is I wonder if they're just saying like, oh yeah, I'm the best. I'm the best category. Because they're not bad. The people who I play who are Carbon are not bad.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
They don't know the game that well yet, you can tell, but like you can see sort of fundamentals and stuff.
Okay.
So it's cool. It's cool. I really like what they're doing.
Yeah, that is. I mean, again, I feel like that's such a key factor of fighting games, and it's such a huge, important part. And they even said that if you already have an account and then you click one of those, I'm good at fighting games or something like that, like if you have a score already, that it doesn't do anything. It literally ignores it. But if you're creating a brand new account and you have zero information, they will automatically start throwing you into different areas. So I think that's super cool.
It is. It's just one of the things that I think they're doing really, really well at. They've talked how they wanted... They've sort of had a couple of big goals. I don't know if there are others, but a couple of big goals at least, to bring in new people, people who aren't accustomed to or don't think that they can hack the whole difficult motions business.
Right.
And also designing for online play.
Right.
And those, I think, mesh really well with this matching well business. I mean, both of those things are served very well by having a good matchmaking system. And it's awesome that they're really putting the time in to make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, having good online experience is what I think will revolutionize the fighting game genre right now. Because for the most part, the online experience is pretty garbage.
Yeah, dude.
For a lot of fighting games, it's just like run up here, play some ranking match against it. And I also like the fact that they when you play online, they kind of put you in this 2 out of 3. When you get matched up with someone, it's automatically 2 out of 3.
Yes.
So it's not just this whole thing where I'll play you and never care about you.
Right.
I have a chance to adapt and all this.
Right. Things. Yeah. You do your stupidest stuff that you can think of in all the other games. You just you treat everybody like they're an idiot starting off because they might be, and then you just do whatever your scrub buster is.
Right.
Your tech. And that's it, and it sucks. That's a big part of why other fighting games suck online.
Right, or if you get even, like, not scrubbed out, but if you get shenaniganed,
right,
and then the guy wins, you're just like, dude, that was not a win at all. Like, I totally could have beat that. Now you have a chance to kind of try to prove yourself.
And by the way, that's totally happened to me a lot of times, on both sides. But, definitely I play against people who just bowl me over in the first game with whatever they think that they should be doing.
Right.
And I'm like, that was crazy. You did a random super? What are you doing? We're just, you didn't, it wasn't even wake up super. It was like random super.
Right.
And I got mad. And then, but then with this 2 out of 3 system, I can make the adaptation and figure out, like, okay, this person thinks that it's smart to do random sword in the range, neutral game. Okay, I'll hold off. And, you figure that stuff out.
Right,
and at the same time, I have some pretty BS mix-ups with Talos that
yeah.
everybody gets hit by the first time.
I saw you do them
categorically.
Dude, there was one time
hit by
I randomly went on Vi's stream and I saw you play him.
Yeah.
And you beat him twice with a lot of those little mix-ups.
Yeah, dude. Nobody blocks it the first time. But by the end of a 2 out of 3 set, good players are blocking it.
Right.
So, you definitely see the adaptation. It's really, really cool to see.
Right. I mean, someone did mention that KI, when you got up to a high enough rank, it did turn into 2 out of 3 as well.
Is that so?
So that's
I
actually
didn't know that.
cool. Yeah, I wasn't aware of that as well. So, but yeah, I mean, I love the fact that they're trying to do all these things for online and such. So, one of the things someone asked in the chat before this whole thing started, they really wanted to get your opinion on so there's 2 options for the kinetic power. You got kinetic deflect, which is like a burst mechanic. Basically, while you're getting hit, you activate it. If they hit you again, you burst. There's kinetic advance, which you can cancel moves into dashes and or jumps. And it like drains a lot of the cooldown timer and such like that. Right now, kinetic advance is way better than kinetic deflect.
Much better.
And it's not even that kinetic deflect is bad. It's just that there's just no benefit to it compared to kinetic advance. So someone was asking in chat, what would be some of your ideas on how to make kinetic deflect better?
So part of the problem is that I think that deflect sucks because advance lets you just avoid situations that you would need deflect in. Mm-hmm. So with advance, you can make moves safe by dash canceling or jumping after whatever move. Dragon Punch, jump back. You're super safe, right? Or dash back, or dash forward if you want pressure, jump if you want cross, whatever. There's a lot of stuff, but you can avoid getting punished for that Dragon Punch. Mm-hmm. With deflect, you have to get punished to use your deflect. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, there's a situation where where you have an option to just avoid punishment entirely and also get a mix-up, or put yourself in whatever position you care about. Mm-hmm. Or you can take some damage and then activate your deflect, and maybe they hit you afterward and causing the thing to explode, or not. Maybe they didn't, right? Maybe
So there's even a chance that, because if you miss the kinetic deflect, are you punishable?
Honestly, I don't know if you're punishable or not.
Dude, because I have never seen one. Like, I have never seen
I baited it, and the person lands, and I can grab them.
Oh, right, okay.
So, but I don't know if this is actually a punish. Okay. But in any case, with deflect, you're giving up all these other things for something that you can just be better at avoiding in the first place if you use advance. Anyway, so what I want with deflect is something that is not just a poorer version of what you can get with advance. Like somebody brought up the idea of having a push block with it. I think that might be interesting. Okay. Or maybe if you can choose where your kinetic deflect ends up post explosion. Like rather than always getting blown full screen, what if you can choose to end close to the opponent, which is better for you. Let's say you're Talos or something. Maybe you want to be there, or maybe you want full screen. Just whichever one you want. Have some additional benefit in positioning or in being able to escape bad situations that you just don't get. Because honestly, even push block, Dragon Punch FADC, KADC might even still be better than push block.
Right.
So. I don't know. I think it's going to be tough to find a solution to that.
One thing that I found what was really interesting is that, for some moves like your uppercut, like let's say you successfully finish a combo and you have an uppercut and you hit the opponent. Or let's say they block it. I'm trying to think of like a good example scenario because I ran into a couple. You have no uppercut and your cooldown is like maybe still at 4 seconds. If you really want the uppercut, you can stab somebody and jump cancel it, and it drains like 3 seconds off of the cooldown, because kinetic advance makes the cooldown faster, right? So that's even like another huge benefit to it. Like you can actually just blow a kinetic advance just to get your uppercut back, right? Like I feel like if kinetic deflect also had something that you can do off to the side that just eliminated your cooldown like instantly, like maybe a kinetic deflect. You can do kind of like a gold burst,
right?
But it automatically resets everything into no more cooldown or something like that. Or what if it would be crazy, like if you hit someone with kinetic deflect, you get short cooldown for a little bit. You know,
Like
in
some
training
period of
mode?
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for a short period of time. Because, you know, in training mode, you can set that. That'd be interesting, because then you can do
Yeah.
combos you couldn't normally do.
That's true. There would be some benefit to it
That
then.
should be kind of sick.
It would be. But there definitely has to be some unique extra system, because what it has right now, even if they build on it, the more I think about it, even if there were what were we just talking about? What did I just mention? One
Short
of the things that I mentioned.
cooldowns,
Yeah, no, the thing that I was mentioning
choosing
before.
which position they end
The other
in.
one. Anyway, whatever.
A push block?
Yeah, push block.
Okay, okay.
Because the more I think about that, the more I think that that's just worse than having Dragon Punch KADC
Right,
anyway.
right,
So,
right.
I don't know, man. It's
Yeah.
gonna be. I feel like it's not gonna be that easy to balance them,
Right.
unless they maybe take something away from Kinetic Advance, which is possible. But I feel like that would not be a great way to balance, because then you leave players feeling like they have fewer options, and that's not good.
What if they made it so that you just couldn't cancel on block, but you can only cancel on hit?
Yeah, that would make a big difference.
Because then you
That
can
would
still
make a
do
big
all the
difference.
cool combo stuff, but the hard part is that a lot of things become unsafe.
Yeah, and a lot of the coolest tricks with KADC, I think, are about being on block, and they're not necessarily making stuff safe. They're bringing in new opportunities, you know, like Vlad putting out Fireball KADC, right? And then it's a
Right.
high-low mix-up or whatever. Like, you know, you got to leave stuff like that in there. Well, one of the things I really like about Rising Thunder is that with Advance is that I feel like it is a very open and malleable and free sort of system. It's like if Street Fighter 4 were that kind of open game.
Right.
It's kind of this cool mix between Street Fighter 4 and sort of air
'Cause-
dashy Marvel 3 sort of games.
Yeah, for most
Cool.
characters in Street Fighter 4, you can figure out what FADC will do for them, like, in a day.
Yeah, like even stuff that we didn't see until later. You didn't see people spend meter on FADC combos all that often for the first couple years, but we all knew about them.
Right.
They were there.
Yeah.
You just didn't do it.
And now we're at the point where we, like, as soon as a new character comes out, we're like, yeah, okay, here's the cool things you can do with
Yeah.
it. Right? But this being able to jump or backdash and do all sorts of cool things like that, I feel like opens up a lot more options, like you said. So I would just like to see Deflect get some more options like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I definitely think it's better to add options to Deflect than to remove anything from Advance. What I would like to see is a little bit longer cooldowns on Dragon Punches.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's just kind of an annoyance, and I'm not sure if they intended it to be like that, but I feel like for a lot of pressure characters, I've been playing Talos and now Vlad I'm picking up. And for both of those characters, the fact that Dragon Punch cools down, the recovery is just 4 or 5 seconds.
Right. Because the thing is,
Very
whenever
annoying.
you hit someone, especially like for example, if Edge has all three levels charged up, or Chell gets the combo afterwards, and especially if they kinetic advance out of the uppercut, by the time you get up, they've got their uppercut again. So it's not like you can take an uppercut
Right.
and then attack them. You take an uppercut and then you have to deal with the uppercut again. So yeah, I've actually been seeing some people saying that the game feels very uppercutty right now.
It does, yeah.
And so, you know, that might be something that they have to look into.
But you know, if they just decrease the cooldowns by a couple of seconds, not anything crazy even,
Right.
and get to some situation where okay, I bait a Dragon Punch. Now I know it's time for me to do stuff for half a dozen
Right,
seconds.
right.
That would be cool.
Okay.
Great game. Really like it so far.
Yeah. I haven't had a chance to play it again. I wanted to stream it yesterday, did not get an opportunity to, so I will hopefully do that later this week. Hopefully I'll be able to get a chance to play some more with it. So
Man, my Vlad is a total butt. It sucks.
dude, it's really
Vlad is so difficult.
You know, I had no idea what that character even did
Yeah.
until I did the first attack stream last week. Because I was using Rising Thunder to show people how to approach a game and how to approach opening up opponents. And so I did it with Edge. I showed people what I figured out with Edge. And then everyone's like, well, you already did this with Edge, right? Let's see what you can come up with a new character. So I was like, all right, I'll try Vlad. Because he was the only character I hadn't touched yet. So I didn't know anything about him. I didn't know his whole gimmick was the fly cancel
Yeah.
stuff. And dude, he's got some dirty mix-ups.
Oh yeah.
He's got some dirty mix-ups.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that fly cancel, I was like, holy crap, this
Yeah.
character looks like he could be super good.
He is.
But, you know, unfortunately, with the uppercut, it mitigates it a little bit. So
It does, and the fact that the uppercuts autocorrect really well, so even if you do
Right.
a cross up, you know, it sort of puts a kibosh on that. That's why it's so important to have the little Sputnik KADC cancel into pressure because it's a way to.
Dude, what if Kinetic Deflect? Oh, but see, that'd be too much of a reward. I was thinking, what if a Kinetic Deflect, when you hit someone with it, it threw all their specials into cooldown? That would be so good.
That would be really good.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it would almost be so good to the point that you try to get hit on purpose sometimes. Like, I feel like it would be almost too good.
It does take a few seconds to run over, though, after Kinetic Deflect.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because what if that Kinetic Deflect guaranteed you a knockdown and then they couldn't wake up DP?
Right, yeah, no, that sounds awesome.
That'd be interesting.
That does sound really cool. You think it would just take hits?
Yeah, like, just walk up, hit me, deflect,
Yeah,
but that would actually add a lot to the metagame, though. Oh, not the metagame, sorry, the game.
Whatever.
The game. Oh, I can't.
Whatever.
Yeah, sorry. Wrong turn.
I'm over the debate.
Okay. All right, well.
Anyway, fun game. Highly recommend checking it out. It's open alpha now, so if you haven't gotten a chance to play it yet, you don't need to wait for a code. Just go sign up.
Yeah, it's free to play, and it will always be free to play.
Yeah.
That's the intention. So definitely check it out.
One of the things I'm impressed at with that game is when that Twitter account posts stuff, I click on the tweet and see what people replied to. I'm just curious.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
quite a few of the tweets are people who say that they're new, it's their first fighting game,
right?
They're trying it out, like a lot more than I think I would expect.
Yeah.
Because the game is just some technical alpha that not a famous studio put together.
Right.
It's just some good designers, and I'm really impressed to see what they're doing, especially without there's only a few characters. They're all robots. There's only one background. There's only one song. You don't know any of the stories except for, I guess, Vlad is a dog. There's not that much going on. But they have yet, anyway, managed to get new people. I think that's so awesome.
Don't underestimate free-to-play games, man. Yeah. It's so easy for people just to be like, hey, let me try this out. It makes such a difference. It makes such a difference. And, I forgot what the term they called it was, but I think they said the whale philosophy is that you're looking for the big whale to spend as much money as to make up for the money that everyone plays for free. Yeah. That's the model they're going for, and I really hope that it succeeds. So, and I think it's really good that there is a fighting game out there right now that is trying this out.
Yes.
And we will find out how well this works.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I do. I hope it goes well. I hope it goes well. So
I feel like all the games I'm playing right now or are interested in playing are alphas and betas, or like just freshly out of a beta situation. Right, SF5, Rising Thunder,
Guilty Gear Xer, Revelator,
Skullgirls just came out of beta finally. It's finally done.
Yeah.
Not that long ago. NKX still a beta.
Shots. Nice. I like it. Okay, so let's talk about some stuff that we wanted to talk about last week.
Sounds good.
Kazunoko, Zeveron. So, I mean, it's interesting because more has surfaced since then. But Zeveron, the team that sponsored Kazunoko, also had a Dota team, Heroes of the Storm team. It had a HOTS team. And apparently the Heroes of the Storm team left Zeveron, and then Zeveron is run by two people, and one of them was leaving, and the other one is. So everyone was wondering what's going on with Kazunoko.
There was a story on it, but there's not that much more information.
Yeah, but however, I mean the interesting thing is that Kazunoko, like you said, did still play under the Zeveron name at Topanga and at Arc Revo. So apparently he's still trying to work it out with them and such. So. But the long story told short is that one half of the Zeveron founders apparently was involved in some drama with, he used to run an anime convention, and he got into a big, kind of a disagreement with a cosplay group that also does the Maid Cafe, the Summoners Cafe, which got very famous, and then there was arguments on who owned the Summoners Cafe and all these things like that. And so, I guess the Heroes of the Storm team just decided to break off or leave or something like that. And
they weren't getting paid. Yeah,
and they also didn't get paid either. So.
And the owner of it had some sketchy quote in the article that I read, where he implied that he didn't need to pay up because he didn't know what the terms were in the contract.
Right.
Even if he doesn't, it doesn't matter.
Right.
They kept calling themselves, they're CEO of it, and CEO is somebody who has authority to make a contract on behalf of his business. That's like what a CEO can do. Not just the CEO, other people can too, but definitely a CEO can make that call, even if the owner doesn't know anything about it. So it doesn't matter if the owner didn't know. He has to pay up, and I guess he's not gonna, and that's just, it's one of these things where there are too many people in fighting games and esports and the whole competitive gaming landscape that are just, it's just shenanigans. It really is. And it's hard to know that in the first place, because a lot of people do a good job at sounding like they're going to be legit. I've certainly, I've had business dealings in all sorts of different ways with such people, representing a player or representing a team who is working with some team that seems kind of sketchy. In fact, some of my clients in the past have been that way, and I had no idea until it came to be, some thing happened. Right. But I couldn't tell in advance, even though I had had experience with with it from the other sides of it. So it's just really hard to know, and unfortunately, when they do some bum stuff, it's really hard to get any actual punishment about it. I mean, they're out of the scene forever, but it's very difficult to sue them and get any money out of them because oftentimes they just don't have any money.
Yeah, there's nothing to sue them
There's nothing
for.
there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, in my opinion, if you're a legit group and you want to make sure you have all your bases covered, you want to make sure you understand how a lot of this law stuff works, hit up dpgatlaw.com.
You can do that.
To find yourself a excellent lawyer who is well versed in all of this.
This is the business that I do. One of the things. I feel bad for Kazunoko, because especially for being in Japan and the language barrier and everything, it must have been just really tough to be able to figure it out in advance. He's a nice guy for keeping that shirt on for now, while he hasn't gotten paid. I guess he's going to wait until the end of August. That's how it seemed from the news. And if he hasn't gotten paid by then, or if there isn't some sort of better situation, resolution, then he will stop. But in the meantime, he's still in there.
Yep. Okay. Well,
that sucks.
Good luck to him. Hopefully things go well for him.
Did you hear that Haitani was signed by Brawl Esports?
No.
Yeah.
What's Brawl Esports?
Well, I looked it up. Brawl Esports is something that started in Mexico, and it had a I believe League of Legends team. Okay. But now also a fighting game player. And I looked it up on like Esportspedia or something like that. And,
sorry, I shouldn't be laughing.
No, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. For sure. And it listed, people who started it. And one of the people is listed, his name, now I forget it exactly. But it was something like, Smith K. Kyo Jones, right? Like that was his tag, K. Kyo, So I feel like that's probably how the fighting game player got mixed up with this thing. I started as a League of Legends team. There's like some guy who maybe played League for a while, but he's really a KOF player. Right. That's pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's hard right now because there's just so many of these groups trying to cash in on this.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that group could be super sketchy too. Who knows?
Right.
It's just it's very hard to tell. They've been around for a couple of years, but very hard to know. Very hard to know.
Why wouldn't they have called it Wikisports? Wikisports.
Yeah. No, I was just reeling in the genius of that.
Right. Thank you, David. Appreciate the support, man.
I was being serious.
I can't ever tell when you're trolling me or not, so.
It wasn't.
Okay. Well, speaking of esports, we did not get a chance to talk about the International.
That's true.
Which was a huge event.
Yeah, some Dota thing.
Yeah. Giving away $18 million.
Something like that.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to watch any of it?
I did, in fact. I did. Did you?
Yes, I did. Actually, I actually watched a lot of the grand finals.
Cool, man.
Yeah. What did you think of the whole entire thing?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It was great. For me, the thing that I loved the most about it was that it had a newcomer stream.
Yeah.
So I don't know anything about Dota. Very, very little.
Mm-hmm.
I played it for like maybe a month, 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Just to see what it was about. And so I remember some of the super basics, but even since then it looks a little bit different to me. You know, I'm sure it's changing. And so it was very, very useful to have people talking about what the items were. Because on the mainstream, you know, it's intelligible to some degree, but you have to, in the first place, like know what the items are and know what the heroes do, which I don't.
Right.
So very nice to hear them talk about, you know, the items. And this player probably got this item because he's looking for this other item to show up later, or in order to counteract some spell.
Right.
I don't know anything about, and so it was a way to get into it.
That's
and
super
the
cool,
commentary
actually.
team, I feel like individually might be good, but like they talked over themselves a lot. You know,
Okay.
it wasn't the best from that front, but it was just such a good way to get into it in the first place.
Because I remember, you know, a long time ago, before Uniel came out in the U.S., I had talked about wanting to do a Uniel event and stuff like that. And I talked about that same way. I really wanted to have 2 streams for it, so one could explain all the systems and all the mechanics and what the characters are doing, and the other one could just be people yelling and screaming and getting hype and stuff like that. I actually didn't watch the newcomer stream. I was watching the main stream on the grand finals. So there was definitely a lot of things that I didn't quite understand what was going on. So
they had very well produced videos too on all of the roles, like, you know, the different like actual role, like support and offlaner and whatever. And you know, I played League for a little bit, but there are roles that are not in League that are in Dota. So they talked about that stuff and the positions and the numbers and whatever.
That's cool.
They had brief little overviews of some of the characters and what they do and what to look for. It's just
so the newcomer
really
stream
well done.
actually had videos specifically for newcomers that weren't shown on the other stream.
I didn't watch the other one, so I couldn't tell you that. But
okay.
definitely they were on this stream, and I really enjoyed it. That was really, really well done.
So what did you think of the streams themselves? Like, because I know there was a lot of time in between matches, and dude, I have to be careful on Twitter a little bit, right? Because like literally, I was like, one thing I like about fighting game tournaments is that matches start up right away, and I wasn't trying to be like contentious or anything, but that like just completely blew up, and everybody was like, why are you getting mad? We have to. I was like, it's not what I meant, but I mean, you know. Obviously, some people were complaining about it. And I even said in my tweet, I was like, from what I hear, it wasn't even my own opinion, you know. But, you know, what is your opinion on that, the slower pace, having a lot more space in between matches? Because there was times where I was trying to watch, and every time I went to the stream, it always seemed to be in between matches.
From a player's perspective, I imagine it's difficult to play an hour-long game and then want to go back into it 5 minutes later. I feel like it's just tough to do. You want to go take a dump or something, honestly, and they gotta give you time to do that stuff. And you know, you want to talk strategy a little bit, I'm sure, and sort of digest what happened. And you know, since it's a sport, like any sport, you have to have halftime and you know between periods and stuff, right? Like sports. So you know, no, I get it. I'm not gonna be too upset about that stuff.
That was actually one thing I was surprised is I didn't feel like the streams had as many viewers as I thought it was going to be. Like even the mainstream didn't have huge numbers on it. Like I think overall, if you include China, like it was more than Evo, but just like the mainstream itself.
There were so many different languages. It wasn't just China. There was Russian and French and Spanish and German and whatever, newcomers. I mean, there was a whole bunch of different streams for it.
One thing I will say that these events have to stop doing, because this happened after the League of Legends Grand Finals when they brought out Imagine Dragons, and then after this international they brought out Deadmau5. Just stop. Just don't.
You thought it was weird?
No, nobody ever cares. Like literally, like no one cared about Imagine Dragons coming out at the end. Nobody cared about Deadmau5 coming out at the end. After the whole thing was over, it was like, yay, and now people wanted to leave, and like they were just like, stop the musician at the end thing. Like I just don't think that that's working, to be honest with you. So
fair enough.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying it's because you can watch Dota inside the game. That's why. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Perfect. Okay, good stuff.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Look, man, I thought it was really well done. I really liked the analyst desk. Something that I would love to see in fighting games. We just had a whole rant about it, precipitated by Dota, obviously, by the International, where, we talked about how it would just be really nice to have a desk like that analyzing things. And it doesn't have to be some omnipresent thing like it is in Dota. The only time they're not there is during the actual match. Right? Every other time there's an analyst desk going on. We don't need that, but maybe at EVO,
just before
like
top
right
8.
before, certainly before top 8, but maybe before a pool starts. Maybe you give 5-10 minutes to an analyst desk. It doesn't have to be 6 people or whatever it was. It could be 2 or 3, and just have them be like, all right, here's some players to watch. Storylines, yada yada. Here's 5 minutes as to what happened in the last one. This is interesting because yada yada. I mean, it doesn't need to be
fanciness.
Yeah, you don't need fanciness. I really liked that they just are willing to talk about it like it's something people are interested in.
Just good summaries.
Because it is.
Yeah.
Now, I specifically sought out this video game stream to hear about it.
Right.
That's why I'm here.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't need any additional fanciness. I did the work of finding this. I wasn't clicking through and I'm on ESPN, right? Oh, I guess I'll watch ESPN. No. I went to twitch.com on my computer with my fingers and I put myself there, I want to hear about this. So I want to do that in fighting games too.
That's a good call. You can't hit a Twitch stream without just, like, you're not channel surfing. You can't run into it that way. That is really interesting. Okay. Well, one more question about the International. What did you think about it being won by Team EG?
That's great. Shout outs to USA. I think that's cool. It's cool. I mean, I talked with AJ briefly at Devo about his managing and, manager of Team EG. AJ. And, he talked about how it's the trials and tribulations of it and all this sort of stuff. So I'm really happy for them that it's worked out. They see that they dropped one of the dudes like instantly.
He was the guy that everyone was happy for because it was the story that he was the oldest player in the tournament.
Oh, really?
And like he had been I think it's the same guy.
Oh, I don't
this
know.
could be the James Chen misinformation of the day.
I don't know. Yeah.
But I think that's him. But I think he was the player that, like, someone told me, like, if you want a story, then definitely hear about this guy because he was the oldest one and people would say he was past his prime and
Like
here he is
26 or
winning.
something. Yeah.
So, no, I am wrong. Different person. Okay.
Boink.
There you go. Okay. Awesome. Good stuff.
I kind of want to know how old that guy was, though, that James is talking about, even if it was a different
Dude,
guy.
he was like 29 or something. He wasn't even that old or something like that. But yes, different person. So, he was the second youngest. There you go.
It's nice.
Okay.
Well, he got canned.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate, though. I mean, because they just won 2 events in a row, right? So
I guess they're bringing on some really good player, and they're shuffling the team around a little bit, and it's going to make sense in some way with how previous people were in their positions. I don't know, man. I'm just kind of sad for the guy that he got dumped. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I guess the
27 was the oldest. Wow.
27? Dang. That's crazy. Like,
can I tell you that I'm a little proud of fighting games in terms of the strategic value of them. One of the reasons is that I feel like you can play them and be an older player. In fact, quite a few of the top players are in their late 20s and 30s now. And I feel like that's a testament to it being a lot about strategy and less about being a button monkey than people give it credit for. So hopefully with things like...
I find it funny that you say that given the shirt that you're wearing today.
Oh yeah, that's true. This is I woke up and I was like, I need to take a shower, but I'll just go to the gym. And take a shower after I work out. So I put on my I'm gonna work out clothes, and then I didn't have time to go to the gym and take a shower. So anyway,
no worries.
But anyway, a lot of the players in fighting games are older. I hope that will eventually happen for other games too. And if it's not possible for them, I feel like that's a failing on those games parts.
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of those other games, APM is really important, right? So it's really just about being fast.
For some of them it is, for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, it's interesting because you also asked that question on Twitter. I think it was you, which you asked about the APM of Smash players.
Yeah.
Because Smash players are
that
going
looks pretty tough to me.
a mile a minute. And so, I wonder, because the funny thing is a lot of the long-term Smash players are ones that are actually suffering hand problems now.
Yeah.
So I wonder how long that's going to last for them. You know what I mean? Is Smash not a long-termable
Could be.
esport, you know? Is that kind of the situation? Whereas, like, in fighting games, we still have people like Vi beating up Bonchan every once in a while, and, you know, they still have the ability to affect tournaments.
How old is Bonchan? I bet Bonchan is, like, barely younger than Alex.
That's probably true, actually.
If he's younger.
Yeah, that's
I don't
actually
even know
true.
If he's younger.
That's actually true. That's actually true.
Well, I bet Bonchan's in his early 30s.
Yeah. Well, what about, like, John Choi beating Daigo?
Yeah.
No, but it's nice to see that older players can still keep playing fighting games. So.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope that happens for other games too.
Mm-hmm,
That's all. What did you think about?
Bonchan is 28 or 29 something.
What?
So I see 28, 29, 30 is the general.
Come on. Well, you look great, Bonchan.
Wait, he's that young? I mean, you look great.
Oh boy. Well,
You were asking me a question.
I was just wondering what you thought about TI because you were asking me questions.
Oh no, I really like the production value of it. I like the you know, obviously they had the stadium, they had the setup, they had all this cool stuff. The production value on it was super high. And you know, one of the things that I see a lot of people, you know, the international is always the time when all fighting game players question their career. Where they're just like, damn, maybe I should have been playing this game instead, right?
Yeah.
This guy just won $6 million.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, to me, it's like, you know, I talked about this on Twitter as well. I was just like, you know what? You know, I don't know if we'll ever get to that point, but I'm going to try. I would want to see our community grow as much as possible and stuff like that. And people are asking, like, why do you even want it to get there? Like, who cares about international? Let's just keep ourselves how we are, right? And, you know, honestly, what it just really comes down to is just the fact that I love fighting games. And they always say that you should do what you love as your career. And so I don't want to get rich off of it. Like, I don't want to be like, we made it, yay, proof that I just want to be able to do what I love for my job.
That makes sense.
That's just all it is. And that's what I want to see everyone else do. I don't expect Justin or Daigo or Knuckle-Doo to be winning, you know, $6 million prize pots in the future or anything like that. I'm not worried about that, but it would be nice if they could make it their job. Right. And actually have something that they're doing with it, you know, so that they don't have to have a job on the side and play, that they can actually be doing this for their career. I just want to see it to the point where we get sustainable, and watching the international and watching where it's at, like, it's always just a good, it's almost kind of like a wake-up call, but at the same time, it's also keeping things in perspective. Like, I don't think we can get there, and I think a lot of people feel like we can get there super fast or super quick. I don't even know if we can get to that point ever,
Right.
to be honest with you. So, but yeah.
I hear that.
Yeah.
There's a lot in the international and in LCS and whatever else that would be great for fighting games to bring in, like this newcomer stream.
Yeah. Well,
But their level of production is just so high that it's hard to make a direct comparison, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway.
One thing I do want to mention, so a lot of people in the stream are like, isn't that Justin what does as his career? Yeah, Justin at one point in time was the greatest fighting game player in the country and the most well known. So yeah, he was in a position where he was living his career off of that. That's one dude.
Right.
And he's the most popular dude. Like, look at all these other, like, I mean, how often are we talking about this team disbanded, this person switched, this person got dropped, and et cetera, et cetera. It's not happening for a lot of people. I want more than Justin to be able to do that, you know?
It is more than Justin now, but even still,
it's better.
That number is like a dozen in the U.S.
Right.
I mean, really, it might be a dozen.
For fighting game
might be fewer
players,
for fighting game players,
yeah.
Something like that. AKA very few people.
Right.
Very few people.
Exactly. So, okay.
All right. You know, one more thing, I guess, before we move on. The payout, sort of along with this, right? The payout was very big for first place, but the drop off after that in terms of payout was very steep.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, there was a really interesting graphic that I saw that ESPN put out, trying to lionize it, I guess, but it was the payout for first place of like tennis and golf.
Oh, between the sports. Oh, I thought you meant within the international.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
So first place in the international got whatever the sum was, and the total prize pool was 18. I think it was like 6.
Right.
And 18 was the total prize pool.
Right.
But then it talked about golf, and golf was like 2 million.
Oh,
I don't remember the number, but it was something like 2
right.
million. Total prize pool, 20 or 30.
Right. So in other words, the curve was like this, whereas the international was like that, basically.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you? I guess you didn't see that before. I just was wondering what you thought about that.
I saw the graphic, and I was just paying attention to the prize money totals.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking at that, but I do remember now the Twitter conversation that it spawned. I agree. I think that the money should be spread out a little bit better if we can get to the point where it's worth doing that. Because I feel bad for Evo because they did it one year and they got blown up for it. Like,
they did.
Everyone was so mad about how much money Xi'an won because that was basically the one year that they decided to spread it more evenly between the top 8. And everyone just blew them up. Like, I can't believe Xi'an won no money. Like, this was the biggest event, blah, 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 all these things like that. So they got blown up for it, right? In terms of something like KI this year, they got the $50,000 pop bonus and they spread it down further. Perfect. If we can get to the point where we have these pop bonuses, spread the pop bonus around a little bit more. If the event is still kind of small, like if we're still, like let's say it's like NCR and we're not getting thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, you know, keep it kind of how it is right now so first place gets rewarded pretty decently. But if it ever gets to the point where we have a ton of extra pop money, then yeah, let's spread it out more.
I would like to just spread it around more in general, sort of as a percentage. Like the things that, you know, payout system that Evo has used in the past, that events like UFGT have used in the past, where the more entrants there are, the more of a spread there is in terms of how people get money. You said Evo tried it. They did, and they got kind of crapped on for it. But they get crapped on either way.
Yeah.
I mean, either way. I'm going to crap on them if it's too lopsided.
Right.
I think it's stupid to have it be too lopsided.
Right.
So you're always going to get some BS. The question is, which one supports more people? In my view, that's the question.
And the interesting,
maybe that's not for them.
And the interesting thing, though, is that I don't think the answer is that clear right now. Because right now, where the fighting game community is still growing, having a bigger prize pot to first place, being able to say first place won this much, puts more credibility to the event, makes it so that you can go to sponsors and say, look at how much this person won for first place, and that will increase the money in the future to spread to everybody.
Right, so that was one of the big things that people talked about with the international being lopsided, is that each player won $1 million for a winning team, and that's something that you can trumpet, you know, that it's all about the advertising and. Yeah, I'm not sure whether their goal is to just advertise for Dota or if it's to advertise for esports, for the international in general, and for competition, for players. I don't know. I guess I'm not super convinced by that, but especially for something like fighting games where the difference is first place gets 120,000 at Capcom Cup rather than like 100,000. That $20,000 for that first place person is just a 6. It's 16.67%. It's not that big a deal. But for the 8th place person, that if you put that a little bit down further, that can be real for them.
Yeah.
Right?
So again, that's a situation where there's enough money to do that. There's enough money to give to the other positions and still say first place got $100,000. $100,000 to the layman is going to sound as impressive as $120,000.
I think so too.
Right? But in the case of something like the year that Xi'an won Evo, it probably wasn't enough yet that, you know, Xi'an winning, what is it, like $5,000 just sounds really bad compared to like
I agree. Maybe that was too early to do it.
Yeah.
I think now that Evo is twice as big.
With the prize bonuses too, because they got a ton of prize bonuses for USF4 as well.
Right. Yeah. Well,
so,
a lot of the games did. Yeah. So I would like to see that more, especially now.
Yeah.
I just want more people to be able to do it. I don't really care if somebody gets fabulously wealthy on it. I just want to have a larger scene. Yeah,
and like I said, I feel like it's a weird balance right now. In fact, I was just talking to somebody about you have these situations where you can serve a bunch of customers at, like, let's say like a food court, right? Like, let's say you're at a food court and you can serve customers really, really fast. And people are happy about that. But then you have no line, and people look at your food court place, and you're like, this place must be bad.
Yeah.
So they go somewhere else because they see this big line somewhere else.
Right.
Hey, this place must be popular. So you kind of have to balance out how fast you serve out those people, right?
Okay.
And so I feel like that's kind of where we're at right now. Like, we have to not spread it, but not spread it so that it looks like we're giving away a lot of money to first place. But then we've got to at least share the wealth. You know, it's kind of an interesting balance right now. I think we're doing a dance, but I think the pop bonuses are helping a lot. I think they make it so that we can spread it a lot more.
Of course.
So, yeah.
You know, for Dota, if I recall correctly, even the last place teams got paid out really well, comparatively speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think, I'm not sure if this is accurate, let me know, but I think that worst place got 50,000 each. Still.
In Dota?
In Dota.
Okay.
Which is a ton of money for compared to fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
But still, the difference between 50,000 and $1 million is very large.
Yeah,
Very large
for
indeed.
sure. So.
Anyway, it was a cool event. You know, every year there's something like the International or LCS or whatever else that makes us all want to talk about how to improve fighting games. It's always cool.
It's a really interesting discussion, and in fact, like you said on Twitter, it spawned like this really emotionally passionate discussion between a lot of TOs and stream creators and stuff like that, which I actually thought was really cool. I thought it was a really cool discussion. So, in any case, I don't know. Do you want to talk about, Squid Sports at all? Is there anything that you want to say about it? But we've been doing a lot of Splatoon talk recently.
Well, we have been.
So.
Yeah, that's true. 50,000, is it split between 5 people or is it 50,000 per person? I am not sure.
Oh, I have no idea. Because if it's 50,000 split, then it's 10,000 each person, right?
Which is still not nothing. But
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, it is for the team. It's 55,000.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, okay. So, it's 10,000, whatever goes to the team and the coach and whatever else.
Okay.
Still, $10,000 per person is not nothing, at least, so but they have a lot more money to start with.
Yeah. But
anyway.
I mean, I think it's time for a lot of these companies to get involved in this esports stuff, though, because I don't know. Actually, we could probably talk about this. Did you see that MLG picked up Rocket League?
No.
They picked up Rocket League.
Are you serious?
So they're doing Rocket League now. Yeah, I saw this post that was like MLG Rocket League is coming to MLG.
What?
So
that blows my mind, James.
Yeah. So they picked up Rocket League. And so that kind of leads in. Nintendo's got to get on the ball on this, man.
If Rocket League's in there, come on,
let's
Nintendo.
get some Splatoon action going here. Come on, seriously.
I just want to know how we'll do it if we get to do it. Not just you and me. I just mean in general. How will you get to see a Splatoon match in a format like that? Because you need to see both the TV and also the little handheld thing.
And you need to see all 8 players too.
I mean, that's something that every shooter has to deal with, and whatever they deal with it. You figure it out, I guess, or you switch well enough, or whatever it is. But I don't know how it is that they're going to get the gamepads in there for 8 people when we're playing online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, obviously the dream is to have it so that, like, let's say we're sitting there commentating a match, we have a TV with all 8 views, and we can just pick which one we want to go to. But then when you go to that person, you also see what clothes they're wearing and what gun they're using and the stats and stuff.
That would be nice.
But, that all has to be built in-game.
Right.
And Nintendo, I mean, look, they're pushing this game a lot because I've heard the sales of Splatoon in Japan have been phenomenal. Like, it's still selling a lot in Japan. So I'm super happy. They're doing, their new Splatfest theme.
James,
dude,
I want to know how you survived that announcement.
Dude, I saw that and I was like, okay.
What is it?
So they did cats versus dogs, water slides versus roller coasters.
Dogs. Roller coasters.
And then they did hot dogs versus marshmallows.
Marshmallows. I'm winning.
You're 3 for 3. Good stuff. Good stuff. The newest theme?
Out of the blue, this could be
Autobots versus Decepticons. That is the most amazing. Dude, you put Transformers in my Splatoon.
It doesn't make any sense, but it's awesome.
Dude, it is the greatest thing. I'm so happy about that. But the worst part about it is Like on all the other three, I knew which side to pick. Maybe dogs and cats, I was kind of the most conflicted. I had to go with cats because I have cats now and I love my cats to death. But dude, Autobots and Decepticons, it's a really hard call for me.
It is a hard call. I think that I'm probably going to go Autobots, but I don't feel that great about that. But if I were to go Decepticons, I wouldn't feel that great about that either. It's hard to give up one of those.
Yeah, like seriously. So my favorite Transformers have always been Autobots. And like, I have an argument with a guy from New York, Justin, Justin Doc.
Sure.
Yeah, we're always arguing who's better, Optimus Prime or Megatron. And I always like Optimus Prime more than Megatron.
He likes Megatron?
Yeah, he likes Megatron better. And like, three of my favorite Transformers of all time are Mirage, Sideswipe, and Wheeljack. Those are like three of my favorite. They're all Autobots, right? But the Decepticon logo is just so much cooler. Yeah. So much cooler. And I saw it, like they showed the picture with the Decepticon on. Yeah. You don't even get to keep the shirt.
I know.
But the fact that I get to run around with a Decepticon on Mario Kart on the DS, you could create your own logo for your cart and put it on the cart. I drew a Decepticon sign and put it on my Mario Kart. The Decepticon sign is just awesome. It's just a great symbol. It's just forever been a great symbol.
It is really good.
So it's I don't know. I might just So I'm conflicted even right now thinking about it. What are you going to pick? Because you obviously win. So
I'm going to go Autobots.
All right, I'm going to go Autobot.
That's what I'm
going to go Autobot because your picks have been spot on so far. You've been 3 for 3, so I'm going to use you as my excuse. So
that's the North American one, right?
Right,
and the European ones, I forget what they've been, but they've been like pretty stupid. Pretty stupid. So they don't. Sorry if you're watching us from Europe.
I know the Japanese one had
Apologies.
the milk tea versus the like chai tea or something like that. But that's when they actually in the Splatfest they let you use the white ink and
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
But a lot of people were like, "Dude, that's so wrong." Because if you think about it,
like the jizz, if you will. But for this one,
was it really North Pole versus South Pole?
Yeah, North Pole versus South Pole is one. Yeah. Yeah, no, they have the worst. They're terrible.
This is just showing you what Japanese people know about Europe right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, nothing at all. Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
Which were they close to? Yeah.
What were you saying?
Well, clearly we get to be Autobots or Decepticons colors, presumably.
Right.
And shooting the ink.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be just orange or red versus purple. Yeah. I almost feel like that would make it by default that you'd have to go Autobots. You can get red ink, right?
That's true. I do want the red ink.
Yeah, I almost feel like that's kind of like by default.
For me though, I accidentally somehow turned on the color blindness mode.
Oh yeah.
So it's always like orange versus something else.
Oh, okay. You can just turn that off.
Yeah, I know. I just keep forgetting.
Okay. It's easy to. Well, yeah, but once you jump in a lobby, you're like stuck there forever.
I just want to. Whenever I'm playing the game, I'm like, oh, I should fix this, but I'd rather just keep playing.
Right.
And then when I stop playing and it's time to play again, I totally forget about it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So now I'm playing in that mode again.
Mm-hmm. There's always like, I forgot what it was, but there's something just ironic that I forgot. I always wanted to do when I got in my car, and I would always remember while I'm driving, and then I'm like, oh, I need to do this.
Yeah.
And I'll do this when I stop the car.
Yep.
And by the time I stop the car, I've forgotten about it. I get in the car and drive, and then I remember. I'm like, oh,
dude,
it's the same thing.
One of the hardest things for me to do is to hold on to those memories. To hold on to those things I need to do.
Oh, yeah.
In 4 minutes. If it's something I need to do 2 hours from now, got it.
Got it. Interesting.
If it's something I need to do 5 minutes from now, or like I want to do, like, this just happened the other day. I was making some pasta for myself, and the pasta dinged or whatever, and so I got up out of my chair. And when I wanted to get back to my chair, I wanted to do something, whatever it was. And so I go to the pasta, thinking in my mind, all right, remember to do the thing, remember to do the thing. And I'm, dumping the pasta out, putting a little whisker or whatever. And I forgot about it.
Yeah.
At some point in doing the pasta, I just totally forgot about it.
Dude, my favorite right now that I do, and this is not even old man problems, I've been doing this for years.
Oh, this is my whole life. I've been like that.
Like, I will want to remember to bring something with me to work, so I'll put it on my shoes. Right? So I have it sitting on my shoes, and I'm Asian, so I will put on my shoes right when I leave.
Okay.
So I walk over there, and I see my shoes, and I see the thing on there, I'm like, I totally remembered I need to bring this. Take it, put it to the side, put on my shoes, walk out.
Yes, I've done that too. Yeah, for sure. You know what I did is at work I put up a whiteboard for all of my little work things. Because I found that sometimes I forgot. So I just wanted to have like it on the wall, right here. And the very fact that it's right there every single day, it means that I ignore it. Because it's right there, and it's there every day. And so it's the wall now. Yeah. It's just the wall. And it's completely useless.
So at 9 p.m., you know how my phone keeps going that on stream right now? That's a reminder to do something that I ignore every day. Because it comes up every day. So at 9 p.m., it's like, oh, there it is. Gone.
Yeah.
The more often it comes up, the more. Yeah.
I do the same.
Exactly.
So. Hey, so Ingrid got teased maybe in Street Fighter V.
At least that's one character we can both agree on.
That character is, in my opinion, maybe the least inspired Street Fighter character design. Okay, I'm not sure which one I think would be crappier, because it's like the most basic, safe anime girl design ever. It's tough to get any more generic looking than that. And her moves were just like, oh, she puts out a little ball, and her crouching medium kick is just, you know what it looks like. Crouching medium kick in Street Fighter. What does it look like? That's how it looks. She has
like a little spinny kick.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so stupid. So
like she's not the character that I dislike the most in all of Street Fighter history lore, but I will agree with you that she might be just one of the most uninteresting characters.
I don't hate her. I don't mean to come off saying I hate her. I just think that she is super uninteresting.
Yes.
Like, there's nothing going for her. Like there are characters who I don't think are cool, who I can nevertheless think like, oh, I can see why somebody would.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it's like not my style.
Dude, Nerd Josh got mad at us for hating on Ingrid, and I was like, you're an Ingrid fan?
Yeah,
like,
come on, Josh.
I don't even like. What is it about Ingrid that you like? You know what I mean?
Like, she's a blonde white woman. Girl, probably not even woman.
Right.
I feel like that's it.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
I don't know.
I really feel like that's the whole thing. Because nobody played her. Look, if you're watching this stream right now, you didn't play Ingrid. Maybe 5 of you played Ingrid. Ever.
So someone in the stream asked me, who do I hate the most? Who is my most hated Street Fighter character? I do have an answer to that, and I do have to apologize ahead of time. It's 12.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Yeah. I can't stand that character. 12 is like my most hated Street Fighter character. So okay.
I don't really know which one I hate the most. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, there are plenty that I think are boring, but
right.
Not that I hate. I like the ones that are weird. You know, characters who have some funkiness about them.
Yeah, I don't like. Like, I already didn't like Necro. And then they made 12 who had a lot of Necro's moves, and he was even more amorphous.
Yeah. And they made Necro's voice even worse.
Yeah, and then I was like, ugh. So that's what kind of put it over the edge for 12 for me.
That's fine. I get it. I get why people would not like him.
Interestingly enough, though, yeah, I actually don't like Blanca much either, so...
I think Blanca looks stupid.
It's really interesting because, you know, we were having this conversation about, like, martial arts or something based on real... One of the reasons why I actually didn't like Blanca was because... So, you know how I always bring up that stupid trivia point that Ryu is scared of spiders?
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I've mentioned it before, I'm pretty sure, somewhere. So there was a little bit of trivia that, you know, they have their likes and dislikes, and Ryu dislikes spiders. Right? It's one of his things that he hates the most. Apparently, he even references it in Marvel when he fights Spider-Man. Like, the intro, like, he'll actually say, like, spiders. Ugh, I hate spiders, or something like that. Right? But that same booklet that I saw that information on also had all the martial arts styles of the original 12 characters. And Blanca was listed as capoeira.
Oh, yeah.
And I was always like, that's not capoeira. There's
No,
like
it's
nothing
not.
about this. This is capoeira, which kind of affected why I didn't like Blanca. So it always has been kind of like based on that a little bit. But you're right, early on, a lot of my character love was based off of low tierness. So that's why I liked Honda, Zangief, Cammy. And Street Fighter 3 really was the game that kind of threw me over the edge into I really, really dislike weird characters. Because 3 was the one that went the weirdest.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? So, I mean, when Street Fighter 3 came out, Necro, I already didn't like Dhalsim, right? And so then Necro, and he's weird. And he's weird on top of being Dhalsim, right? I didn't like...
He was cool.
I didn't like Oro very much. And then the later games came out, and then there was this 12, and then there was like Q. Though to be honest with you, my distaste for Q has almost all but vanished because of you.
Really?
Yeah, because you talk about how awesome he is all the time, and now when I see Q, like I'm like, it's kind of cool.
I have the Q beat sprite up on my wall.
Do you? Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. So I actually don't dislike Q anymore, but I still definitely dislike a lot of the other. And my favorite characters were always like Dudley. Like I love Dudley.
Dudley's cool.
Because he's
No doubt.
he's the boxer. Like it's not Balrog. Rah, rah.
Right.
Like he was
Yeah,
these
yeah.
combinations. I like
He's cool.
I like Makoto. At first, I thought she was kind of based off of the Gracie kind of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but she's actually just real Shotokan. And so I like that about Makoto. And so I even liked Alex because he was a wrestler. I couldn't hate Ibuki because she was a ninja. And then Elena was the real capoeira character. Like this is really capoeira. So that was kind of the game that threw that rift into me where I really started disliking the weird characters.
It's funny because I think of Elena as being kind of a weird character. She's kind of off the wall a little bit in terms of how she moves and capoeiras. I mean, I used to do that.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
back in college
But
before everything fell apart.
Isn't the whole stance thing like that's how
It's
capoeira
legit. Yeah, I'm
works?
just saying it's a little funky. It's a little weird.
Okay.
Like just because something, if it's weird not weird. If it's wacky in real life, it's still wacky in the game. Like with Armika,
Right.
that character is bizarre.
Yeah.
But just because she's bizarre like real humans were, doesn't mean she's not bizarre. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think what it is, I just don't like unexplained weirdness, magical things. Like interestingly enough, a lot of people probably wouldn't expect this, but I have never liked Rose. Like I have just always vehemently disliked Rose because she looks like Darkwing Duck and she has a scarf and she's fighting in heels and she's like soul power. I
think she's stupid as can be,
every
really.
time I saw Rose, I was always like, what is this character? Like, what is she doing? Like, what is this even based on? Like, where did you come up with this character? So it's always been that way. Although I did think that I was trying to think about the wackiest character that I've ever played, and I think Sodom is probably the closest.
He's pretty off the wall.
Yeah, I just played him because he was a grappler and he wasn't Birdie.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, Saddam was cool. He had a cool play style.
Right. Rose is Lisa. Whatever, dude. I don't know what that is. So, it's magic. And I'm just in Street Fighter. It doesn't work for me. Magic doesn't work for me. And yes, I know there's people throwing fireballs, but I've never used a fireball character either. So
Why don't you just say, rather than having some whole overarching theory, just be like, I like these characters, and I don't like these. I just feel like that fits better. Whatever. Anyway, so Ingrid, what happened was Capcom retweeted or tweeted out a picture made by somebody, presumably some fan.
Right.
And I think that's the entirety of it.
Well, because the tweet literally said, "Will she come back in a new game? What do you guys think?" And so it's totally baiting people.
Do you think that it's real though?
Oh, God, I hope not.
I just don't think it is. I just think that'd be
I
weird.
hope not. Although they could, what they've done. Like I said, I like the fact that Vega is very ballerina-like now. Very more graceful instead of just being stab, right? So if they could bring Ingrid and do something interesting with her, more power to them.
I feel like they would. I don't think it should be boring in there. There are better ones. Yeah, I mean, obviously, people are bringing up stuff like the fact that Cammy uses jet propulsion, just shoots from her butt into the air.
Dude, I mean,
It's just
Honda
total
flies
nonsense.
across the screen with
Yeah,
a
it's all
total
wacky
headbutt.
nonsense.
Yeah.
That's why I think you should just say that you like some characters and not others.
I guess that whenever they're based on something that's realistic, I give them more of a pass. Because Ibuki is also the kind of character that, for all intents and purposes, I should dislike. Because I don't like her personality.
Ibuki?
Yeah, there's a lot of things about Ibuki that I generally don't like. But the fact that she's a ninja automatically makes me not hate her that much. It's really interesting. I don't know. To me, the only thing that I can explain is the fact that it's based on something real. And that makes it more interesting to me.
I think ninjas are stupid and boring.
Oh, you actually hate ninjas, huh?
Yeah, I just think it's so played out.
Right.
It would have been fun a million years ago, but
And people laughing
Not
about
now.
me talking about character personalities. Dude, that actually affects me. Like, I know it's silly, but that 100% affects me when it comes to character choices.
Don't you just think that ninjas are so played out? I don't know.
Dude, I love Darkwing Duck. I just think it's silly that Rose looks like Darkwing Duck.
I'm not even a Pirates fan either. This whole ninjas versus pirates
Oh,
thing.
right, yeah. Dude, Darkwing Duck, don't get me wrong, is one of my favorite cartoons of all time.
Yeah.
Like, I was obsessed with that cartoon at one point in time, so I love that cartoon.
I thought Shadow was boring.
Oh, in Final Fantasy VI? Shadow was boring.
Good.
Shadow wasn't that interesting. to
Cool.
be honest with you. You know what? I don't have anything for ninjas either. It's just that I know that ninjas are a real thing.
Yeah.
And so since she's based off of a real thing, I can't hate her as much. But like when I look at someone like Remy, I'm just like, what the hell is this thing?
I want maximum wackiness. Like,
Yeah.
I just want weird stuff. There's a character who magnetizes you with his hands, and then he can magnetize you from anywhere else on screen. It's pretty sick. What's he even magnetizing in you?
Yeah.
What about you becomes magnetized?
Dude, you've
You
seen...
have so much iron in your blood.
Yeah, exactly. You saw X2. Come on, dude. You saw that. That was so badass. When he walks in there and you see Magneto, he's like, there's something different about this. It's one of the most badass scenes. I love that scene so much. It's so great. Oh, man.
Well, we'll see what happens with Ingrid. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
anything else to prattle on about? Somebody says that I hate dogs? Oh my god, you could not be more inaccurate.
Wait, they said you hate
Yeah,
dogs?
yeah. Look at that, up there at the top.
Why would he hate... Why would he think you hate dogs at that point in time?
I don't know.
That's really interesting. Because that is like nothing could be
Definitely
farther from
not
the truth.
yeah, I know.
Nothing could be farther from
Yeah,
the truth.
my Facebook profile has been a dog for like 5 years. That dog hasn't even been around for like 3 of those 5, so.
Oh man. Dude,
Oh,
dogs?
because Shadow has a dog.
Oh, right.
That was
right,
the only
right, right.
redeeming characteristic I know.
Actually, what I liked about Shadow is when you find out who he really is in the storyline. That's actually what made me like Shadow. When you find out who he really is. So.
Kafka.
Spoiler alert! Come on, man. Jeez.
Well, anything else to ramble on? What do you want to know? Is that about it?
No, I think we're good at this point in time. So, Galford was also a ninja with a dog. That's really interesting. I never thought about the parallels with that. Go, puppy.
Intercept.
Garofuro. Yep, that's right,
Okay.
War Destroyer. Exactly. Spoilers.
Well,
Someone actually had the spoiler that was like I don't know if I can't remember if they legitimately thought this, but they were like Shadow is actually a girl because dude, I'm totally spoiling everything, right? If you don't save Shadow,
it's a 25-year-old game.
if you don't save Shadow off the floating continent, where you find him, he's replaced by Realm. But they only put the dialogue for Realm. So he's like, oh, she's unconscious. So if you do rescue Shadow, he shows up there and it still says she's unconscious
Yeah, I
or
mean,
something
that's
like
reasonable.
that. Yeah, so someone's like, oh my god, but it's just like, why would someone like spoil that like in that way? Like, how would you come up and be like, suddenly you know it's a girl, you know? So yeah, anyways.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Well,
by the way, if you have actually submitted to our Patreon, I have to the tiers in which we will actually analyze some videos for you. Of the first batch of people who did that, I did send them messages and told them to email us at UltraChenTV. I've not gotten a single email from these people yet, so
okay.
if you do know that you have gotten there, please please email us so that we can analyze some videos for you.
You certainly don't need to do it, but if you'd like to, we'd be happy to do it. Please let us know.
All right, cool. That's all I have for today.
Okie doke, that's all I got too.
All right, cool. Have a good night, everybody, and peace out.